After a wet dance in Le Mans, it's time to go racing in Asia for a double header starting here in Shanghai in China. We'll go to Fuji next week, but first of all we've got qualifying coming up, and a very competitive qualifying which has already begun. Unfortunately, we've not been able to broadcast you it so far, but at least we're going to be able to bring you the conclusion of what should be a very exciting weekend of FIA Formula 2 with our championship leader not here. Maybe is it time for someone else to win some feature races come Sunday? Well, we're gonna have to find that out. The snake section at turn number 1, plenty of overtaking opportunities can take place there, and you'll definitely see lots of those. Then of course you do have turn number 6. If you are feeling Daniel Ricciardo, then possibly a late lunge could be incoming, and if it is for the lead, then that will be remarkable. At the end of a very long straight, a hard braking zone, a big overtaking opportunity, a big contact chance as well. Verstappen showed you that a few years ago, and he will go qualifying in real life later on for the sprint shootout. We will go trackside for the first time this weekend in FIA Formula 2. It is great to be able to bring you some live pictures finally, with 12 minutes and 20 seconds remaining on the clock. And 4 drivers out there, 5 with lap times on the board. I think Notes disappeared randomly through this session earlier on, but it's Harrison right now at the front of the field. Unfortunately, I'll be honest, we have missed the a bit of the exciting part where we saw a few improvements. I did see Logo setting the fastest first sector. We saw Harrison taking pole away from Pal, so it was Pal who had it for a while, and then we had Harrison in the Prima take it away. And well, as we're into this session now, and as we're waiting, we do need to try and go through as much as we can in terms of everything that took place. Well, I did want to have a long talk about what happened at Le Mans last time out in the wet, but yeah, we're gonna try to keep it to China and some other related things as well. We have, of course, got Harrison on pole with a 1 minute 43.715, Pal with a 1 minute 44.823, Logo with a 1 minute 46.218. Note 2 right now, as it stands, won't be able to improve his time because he's not in the game, has a 1 minute 46.783, and then Leclerc's at the back right now with a 1 minute 50.451. So that is how the timing page looks like for the drivers. So Pal versus Harrison for pole as it stands. And if Logo can find an extraordinary lap, then don't count him out. And he's been able to provide that earlier on in the season at Brazil, where it was another one where qualifying the start of it, we had lots of issues in terms of game issues at the time for the drivers, and a spin round for the man second right now on the timing page, Pal, who will want to get that one back going. So he'll be getting back going right now at this moment on this circuit, which is great to see as he tries to put a challenge on for pole position. And it would be nice if we are treated to a battle for pole position after a bit of a delayed start, unfortunately. And hopefully we'll have all the issues sorted for tomorrow's sprint race contest, and we'll need it, or we'll miss the race start as well. So we definitely do not want that. But we are here for the competitive part of this session, where it is all on the line, where everyone needs to find an improvement. Whether they deliver up to that, that is another question. That is another question that will be answered hopefully at some point in this broadcast. And a flip round for Logo as we take a look basically inside his car with his helmet, and not the best time to be getting that close to a driver. Yellow flags will be out in the first sector. He'll get back going surely with that one as he lets the Trident through. So brilliant sportsmanship there, letting the Trident Pal through so he can push on. With now the green flags flying once again around this circuit. Let's hear from Pal.
Yeah, don't know what happened there. Thank you for letting me vote.
Nice to hear from the British driver right now on the radio, and he is finding himself as a contender in this session. He'll need to find an improvement though. He'll definitely need to find an improvement as these drivers try to find a step forward. Now, Jaden isn't here right now, and the next point I wanted to discuss in this session was, of course, about next season's championship. I think next season's championship, we could be in for possibly, I think, maybe the best F2 season we've had yet, in terms of you have Pal who comes into these races with the attitude of, well, not really for the championship, just for fun, But I think next season, I think everyone's, when we get to the halfway point of the season, I think everyone's mood could be shifted a bit. Because with how it looks right now, I think with Pal, if Pal's able to attend all of them, so is Note, so is Harrison. Of course, they're going to miss a few here and there, but if they, of course, don't have major absences from a lot of them, we could be in possibly for a three-way fight, with a possible chance of some new drivers joining as well next season. It could mean that with Jaden gone, who seems like he's the, expert, really, of this machinery around nearly every circuit. Brazil was the exception this year, where Note did the double, but Pal was the driver who also had an incredible amount of pace, if not more than Note that weekend. So next season, even if the drivers go into an attitude, go into it with an attitude of, well, I'm just here for fun, let's have some fun racing, but I think with how the championship could be looking next season, where it's points separating everyone, we could find ourselves with such a big competitive championship, possible three-way fight if everything goes to plan. So next season will be quite a lot of fun in F2. We are going to get new liveries bolted on the car as well. We've got a F2 2024. We've got some bodywork created, but it's not been moved into a full car yet, so unsure if that will be done for next season. But, however, I'm 100% sure we won't be in these liveries, at least. I mean, in the end, F2 did, however, do lots of years. 2018, of course, to 2023 with the same car. So, there is a lot of seasons where Formula 2 and Formula 3 uses the same car. Formula 3, every year of Formula 3 has used the same car. Of course, it was GP3 before then, but in the modern era of Formula 3, where it's been known as Formula 3, they've, of course, used the same car. They're changing it for next year as well. So, yeah, not the end of the world as well if we are keeping it, as I think we just go past the rat on the circuit with logo and driving past it. The rat does not seem one bit phased. He's trying to escape the circuit. That is one thing. I can reliably tell you that, first of all, actually before I do that, the Harrison's on a personal best in the 1,000-second sector, but I think what people really want to know is that the Ferrari security stuff was removed before we got to this weekend. It was removed on Wednesday, so that does not longer play a part. So if anyone does go into the Ferrari garage, they should not be attacked this time around. So that will be interesting. I believe the rat situation, though, don't think that was solved. And there is a bird somewhere flying around this circuit, wherever that might be. Let's see whether we can figure that out throughout the weekend, but I think it might have just flown away massively away from these circuits, so don't think we'll be getting that. What we are going to be getting, though, is an improvement of time by the man who's currently in P1 and staring at 2 points that come with it, Harrison, with a 1 minute 42.666. That is the time that he has managed, and, well, not a 360. Multiple spins after that, and this is one of the racetracks where if you do go into the gravel, where it is costly, you are going to spin the car, you are going to lose the car, and that is the crazy, chaotic nature about it around this venue, which I absolutely love. A bit of a different challenge. Around street circuits, people can sometimes get away with maybe at times a bit of wall riding, but this one just punishes you seriously. If you go off here, you get punished a lot. So everyone's going to be trying to keep it within the white lines this weekend. And, oh, well, we didn't see Leclerc go into that gravel But we do see him loop the car just on the normal tarmac as he tries to get the power down, having to fight away with the car as he does it though. Okay, we've got a change for second place. Logo improves past Pal to a 1 minute 44.043. And Pal improved his time last time around as well. His lap time was improved to 1 minute 44.062. Look at the margins between second and third. While Harrison might have a good advantage at the front, it's close between second and third. And let me just add, as it stands, the races are going to be really close. We don't know what Jaden's going to be able to do. So I think he'll be, as he's not participating in qualifying, remember one thing. As he's not participating in qualifying, he won't start from pole in either. So he won't get reversed to the front in the sprint. And of course in the future it's qualifying grid anyway. So yeah, so just to get that out, we aren't going to be getting Jaden unless he can quickly come in with 3 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock to go and get a lap time in and take pole with it as well. We aren't going to be seeing him just start at the front in anything. Of course, he might get promoted up to maybe third or something if there is low attendance. But we believe there's another moment for Leclerc on the circuit, which Logo drives past now. So yeah, it means that Jaden's going to start both races from the back. That is even behind the likes of, that's even behind Leclerc, for example, who is last in this session. It'll be behind Harrison even in the sprint when Harrison's reversed to the back. So let's see whether we're going to be getting some Harrison fighting at the top this weekend. Sir Harrison McLaren, of course, as he's known. And he is having a very interesting time of things on the circuit, not only in this championship. Of course, he found himself last time out in Le Mans in the sprint, winning it by not even leading a second of it, which was absolutely incredible. Didn't even lead a meter in the race. And he found himself taking the checkered flag first at the end of it, and took the checkered flag first as the winner of the race after the penalties were applied for both Jaden and Note. So, yeah. Sir Harrison McLaren does not do things normally, I think is the right way of putting it. Let's see how he gets on this weekend, though, in Formula 2. In Formula 1, his streak was broken last time out. A brilliant performance by Pal in that one. A deserved winner from that race. But I guess Harrison's now going to try get going another streak, if he can, at some point. Let's see if anyone's going to get into a streak in this championship, though, which will be hard. You do get more hurdles than Formula 1 in terms of reverse grid, and some points in qualifying as well, along with 2 races in a weekend. And the current pole sitter had a bit of a moment off the circuit. You would have seen it while I was talking over it. He's now rejoined, so it's all okay. It's all okay. But I think we need to focus on the battle for second and third. If anyone is going to take pole, then it is going to be second and third. But right now, Pal's got to improve by thousands. If he can find thousands around the circuit where there is always room for improvement, possibly a front row start for the feature race with the inside line as well, let me just add, down towards the snake section that opens up the lap here in Shanghai. So that could be an opportunity for Pal if he's able to get there. Logo, Harrison are usually in a call, so along with also they are in the same car. While it's every man for themselves in the championship, if you are in if you're in a call with that person and you're also driving for the same team, you don't have to think before you do anything down to turn 1. Whereas if you've got a Trident attacking a Prema, both Italian teams as well, it can all go a little bit wild, which is I think what we like in this championship as well. So 17 seconds on the clock to go. We've had a lot of fun in terms of just waffling on in this session. We did miss the exciting bit where there was constant improvement and some battles for pole at the time. But we cannot wait for the sprint race tomorrow. Right now though, Harrison can start one final lap to see if he can improve his time. Pal right now, with the checkered flag out, is making his way to the penultimate braking zone on the circuit, trying to drift it in, trying to send it in, as he tries to find the front row around this circuit. So, not an improvement in the first, not an improvement for the second. Has he been able to do it in the third sector to displace the Premiers on the front row right now? Pal over the line. Pal improves to the front row. A superb lap at the end to get ahead of Logo. And the Prema front row party is spoiled right there. Unless Logo can respond. Here he is then. The answer to that question about to come. In a few meters time, he's invalidated at the end to confirm Pal a front row start for the feature race, and we can hear from him now.
Come on! Fuck yes! Oh, last sector. Fucking beautiful.
All done in that third and final sector, and you can see that he is happy with that one as well. You can hear that he's happy with that one after, well, a season of a few struggles in the championship. It's not been all easy. It's not been easy for all drivers. There has been some weekends where even Jaden has not had the best of times. Well, okay, we're gonna hopefully get to speak to our top two of Harrison and Pal, so we'll get a full interview with them. As well. So I'll just quickly get the lift up to the second floor. That's where we're going to be heading. So going to be heading to the second floor, and then hopefully we'll be able to get a word with one of the drivers. And yeah, the lift is permanent as well now, other than it wasn't there at Le Mans, of course, because that was a different structure that weekend. But nearly every other weekend uses this, and yeah, it is also for the drivers a way to tell whether the game's updated. If we previously had 2020 cards in the game, then this lift, of course, if the lift isn't there, then that means the game actually isn't updated. So that is a way for the drivers to identify whether the game's updated or not. If it does have this lift, then it absolutely is. Now, okay, we'll see who joins us. It'll be basically whoever comes through the lift, and we'll get to speak with them. Always fun. So we've got Pal who's joined us. So we'll start with Pal, and then we'll go to Sir Harrison McLaren. Both part of McLaren. Both part of Italian teams in F2 though. But they're part of course, Pal's part of Trident. Harrison's part of Prema. And Pal, what a lap at the end to get ahead and ruin the Prema party.
Yeah, the last lap. Sector 1 was not the best. I mean, I kept slipping around, and I knew in that sector 2 I had to lock in, and even then I was messing up, and I was like, okay, this has to be it. I found a cheeky corner cut, one of the corners, not going to say which one. I went just down the straight, just trying to brake as late as I could, and you saw, so I heard you, I just absolutely just drifted the car in, just launched the car and went flat out through there, kept the car straight, went over the line, 43.4 I see on my screen, and I'm like, come on.
Okay, well, looking ahead to the races, for the feature race at least, do you think you can challenge Sir Harrison McLaren?
Race is different to qualifying, you know. I heard a lot of Harrison's mistakes today. I only made one mistake on the gravel. I heard Harrison had 3-4. So, you know, if Harrison messes up a bit, then there's a chance. But I think overall and pace-wise, I think Harrison will have me over. But, you know, there's always room for improvement, and I hope I can improve.
Where do you think Jaden will filter out when he gets in the car?
P5, because I don't want him to win.
Okay, well, I think that is an opinion that everyone shares, not because they hate him, but just because he is so dominant in this championship. Well, here is a man, of course, who won last time in Le Mans in the sprint race. Sir Harrison McLaren, great to speak to you. As you have, of course, taken pole position for the feature race on Sunday. How was it out there? It seemed like you had a bit of an advantage over the rest of the drivers.
Boom. Well, 90% of that session was trying to find where the corner cuts were. I don't know, all my slow laps felt like they were really fast, and all my fast laps felt like they were really slow. So it was quite tough mentally, but I thought Powell had it in the bag after the first couple of laps, but then Pace slowly came in and found the lap.
Well, looking ahead to both the races, of course, you'll start the feature race on Sunday from pole position. First of all, can you convert that to victory? And then in the sprint race, starting near the back, of course, with Jaden also even behind you, but near the back in the sprint race. So how do you think you're going to get on in both races?
I'll win them both.
Okay, well, short answer. It seems like you want to take over the expert of the one-liners role. But where do you think Jaden's going to filter out?
It's a difficult one because we haven't seen his pace today, of course, but I'm going to say behind me.
Okay, interesting stuff. So, Harrison has said behind, Pal has said P5. We don't know what behind means. Is it behind Pal? Is it behind, is it just behind Sir Harrison McLaren? That's the interesting thing. But, well, it was fun. The minutes that we were able to broadcast you of FIA Formula 2 today from China, as well as we get going for a double header with both races coming up this weekend. We have the sprint on Saturday, the feature on Sunday, both starting 11 a.m. Will, of course, get going at 10:55 if everything goes to plan. It's going to be an interesting weekend of races. Sir Harrison McLaren has secured pole position for the feature race on Sunday. Leclerc FIA 10s will be on pole for the sprint. We'll see you to see who's going to come out on top as we get going for the China weekend in terms of racing tomorrow.
Yes, guys, come on! What a race!